Hello and welcome to the latest stream of F1 Mobile Racing. I'm Christina, this is Chris, and today we're here to talk about Update 5.
Yes, Update 5.
So Chris, what is Update 5?
Oh, what is Update 5? It's everything you could want and more. we're really excited to bring Update 5 into the game very, very soon. For anybody who's new to F1 Mobile Racing, it's a free-to-play official F1 mobile game from Codemasters, out now on iOS and Android. It's been out for a few months and we've been having some great fun with it, bringing new content, making the community larger and larger. It's been really fun, but in Update 5, as we've been saying on social channels, we're changing the game. It's a big deal, Update 5, and I guess the headline addition, or the headline change that's coming in Update 5, as you can already see here from these nice looking flyby shots, is the addition of 2019 season content, which is fantastic. So
amazing. Yeah,
official team liveries, official driver lineups, official driver helmets, all coming into the game when Update 5 goes live, which we're super excited about.
That is fabulous, and the 2019 liveries look absolutely phenomenal. So Chris, show me more.
Okay, yeah, let's...
The alpha looks beautiful, but what else have we got?
Yeah, I wanted to start with the alpha because it really is one of my favourites. You can see like the glossy red at the back. I'm a big fan of that. But let's take a look over a few more. You've got the McLaren, which is looking brilliant this year. You've got the Toro Rosso as well. Have you got any particular favourites from this season that you're really enjoying?
So Toro Rosso is always my favourite because it's just such a lovely colour combination, to be completely honest with you. But I think we should probably race in a McLaren. I think Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz are doing a phenomenal job this season so far, and I think we should try to replicate that in the races that we tackle. Okay,
we'll try and do you proud, Lando. We'll jump into a McLaren. Let's scroll quickly through some of the other liveries. So you've got the McLaren, the championship leader at the moment, looking excellent. The matte red Ferrari,
very nice,
looking very nice. Got the Red Bull, of course, always looking good. Renault, that's probably my second favourite in the game is the Renault. I've always been a big fan of the yellow and black and the detail. Haas, a big change this year, looking very nice.
So I have a question for you, Chris, just while you flick through those liveries. It says F1 TR19 there in terms of the car model. So what does that mean?
So as a couple of people pointed out on our socials over the since we made the announcement on Monday, and as we're absolutely aware, so the way that F1 Mobile Racing works is that you have the official F1 technical regulation car for 2019 that's been designed by F1, as known as the F1 TR19. And the way that it works is the official team liveries that are being used, you can then take from the shop and then add onto the F1 TR19. Similar to how you have your custom car, which also has the chassis of the F1 TR19. So that's how it works. Later on, as the season goes on, we'll be adding the official car chassis into the game as well. But with Update 5, it's all the same car chassis, which is the official one that F1 have designed. And they're all looking pretty good, I would say. So, okay, we've got the McLaren. We've got let's go for Spain because that's the next race on the calendar.
Let's do it.
Let's keep it quick, qualifying, one race, medium. Let's jump in. Okay, let's see how we go. We've got so much to talk about in this for this update, which is really great.
So just while it's loading and just on liveries, actually, there'll be a lot of people out there who have potentially purchased their favourite team's livery for the 2018 season. What happens to those liveries?
Yes, sure. So with the new content, let's be super clear with it. So for team liveries, the best way to think about it is that the 2018 liveries that were in the game before Update 5 are basically being replaced with their corresponding 2019 versions. So, for example, the McLaren 2018 is now out and the McLaren 2019 livery is in. What that means for if you've purchased a livery before this update is that, say, for example, you purchased a Red Bull livery last year. Once you enter the game after downloading Update 5, the 2019 version will be there instead in your garage, free of charge. You don't have to purchase it. It just carries over. So we're really pleased to be able to do that. And if you that also is the same case if you made multiple purchases of liveries. So it's not just for one team; it's any team livery that you've purchased. In terms of driver helmets, so the 2018 helmets are still in the game, so they'll be in your inventory if you've purchased them. They're just not able to purchase anymore. So the 2019 driver helmets can be purchased from the shop, added to your inventory. The 2018 ones you can't purchase anymore, but if you have already purchased them, they're in your inventory. You can use them whenever you want.
Sure.
Which is really good. You can add to your collection.
Great. So it means that basically, even though we're completely updating the game, anything that you might have bought previously you either get the newest version of, or you still get to use.
Absolutely, yeah, that was absolutely the plan. Okay, we're coming around the final corner, being a bit of a tricky lap, but just got to hold on to first place over the line.
Nice.
122 was a decent lap. Just held off Gasly and Bottas.
Yeah, DRS got you about half a second.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Increase the kind of margin there, which is pretty nice of DRS to do that for you.
So we mentioned the driver helmets. So why don't we head into the shop and take a look at some of the driver helmets? Because
let's do it.
As you may have spotted, we were using Daniel Ricciardo's helmet in that, and to sort of peek back the curtain a bit. That's because earlier on, as you may have seen on our social channels recently, we got some time with Daniel Ricciardo before the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and he was playing around himself with F1 Mobile Racing, and we put his new Renault, his new helmet into the game so we could check it out. And he seemed pretty pleased by it. So, so we thought we'd show off Daniel Ricciardo's helmet, but there are plenty more. So here they are, which is really, really, really cool. I'm a big fan of the new Mercedes lineup because it's like red versus blue.
Yeah,
so you
can
clearly tell the difference. It's really cool. So you've got Hamilton and Bottas there, the new Leclerc, Vettel, the nice classic design with the German stripes down it. Have you got any particular favourites in here that you're a fan of?
So I absolutely love Hulkenberg's helmet, and I really like Sainz's as well. I think that's a really nice helmet
Sainz's too. Yeah, I see what you mean. We've already mentioned Lando Norris, but I'm a big fan of the yellowish, like fluorescent yellow of Lando Norris's. That's cool.
Reminds me of Button and his championship winning season.
Yeah,
which, it's always good.
Love.
Hopefully, a bit of fluorescent yellow will do it for the Brits.
Yeah. Big fan of Albon's as well.
Yeah,
got to say,
nice.
I haven't seen it too many times actually this season, but that looks really, really nice. So you can purchase those from the shop, and then they're added to inventory, and you can use them in the game regardless of which car you're using, whether it's the official liveries, the custom car. You can use whichever helmet you like, which is great. Like I said, so much to get through. What else should we talk about?
Yeah.
So we're still in the shop. So let's talk about a couple other things that are in the shop. Should we go for that?
Let's go shopping.
Let's
do it.
Bit of retail therapy. So a couple of things that we've added for update 5 to help players boost their progression if they wish to do so. The first one is the season pass, which is basically sort of a bit of a bundle deal originally. So you get one team livery of your choice, a driver helmet of your choice. It can be any combination you like.
Sure.
And then with the GP events mode, which is expanded, which we'll talk about in a moment.
Excellent.
It gives you on-demand access to each of the events that have already taken place. You can go back and access the event free of charge. And win
all the awards as well?
Yes, yeah.
Right, so that could be worth a lot of cool liveries and stamps and things.
Absolutely, yeah. So basically it's a chance for you to win rewards, but also improve your overall score from before. So if you feel like, I did well at the Chinese GP event, but I can do better.
Okay.
You can go back and take it on again. And when you do that, you get unlimited retries when you do so. So you don't have to pay an extra bit of currency to do so, which is really cool. And the other thing is the VIP membership, which is kind of cool. So it's something that we've decided to add into the game to give players a chance to do some different things. So a lot of it revolves around the R&D side of things.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. So as many of you may know, when you win duels, you win research boxes that you can. You win R&D boxes that you can research and then unlock over a period of time. You have, if I open up the duels menu, you've got 3 slots that you can put those boxes in and then research, and then that's your limit. If you sign up to the VIP subscription, you get an extra slot that you can slot in, so it means you can research and unlock more parts at a time. And there's other parts to it as well. So in the shop, there's a extra daily box that you can unlock for free, which is great.
Right.
When you win epic rewards, you have a choice. You have a choice of which card. So instead of just you unlock the box and it's a case of I won this part, you get a choice of epic parts you can add. So you think, I need more of a power card to upgrade that side of things to my car. You can get that.
Great.
And from a visual perspective, if I jump into the custom car, probably my favourite part of the subscription, one of my favourite additions, is that if you have the VIP subscription, as you can see on the left hand side, there is a gold colour scheme that you can choose to any part of the livery. So you've got 3 parts to your livery, and you can make any of those gold. You make all of them gold.
So you can have an all gold car.
Yes, the golden car.
I love gold.
Yes.
Nice. Excellent.
You can have the golden car, which is really, really cool. So those are a couple things in the shop. But it's all about the action. So should we jump into another race?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Do you want to take the
hand
wheel?
Hand it over. I'll have a go, and I always obviously change all the settings because I drive slightly differently to you.
Let me switch to another track before we do that. So I'll switch to Japan. I'm a big fan of Suzuka. Oh, I've gone past it. Let's go all the way through again.
That's right. It's just track previews. Look at all these nice screenshots.
Yeah, these are new as well. These are new shots, which is really great. Japan. There we go. So if you want to change your settings, as you can see in the top right hand side.
Let's hit the settings button. So we're not going to do tilt. I have no idea how you do that. Acceleration. We'll leave it where it was.
Okay, you've got assist as well that you can change if you want.
So steering sensitivity. Let's take it to the middle.
Okay.
And then assists. We're going to turn them all the way up.
That's fair enough.
And yeah, that's all good. Let's go for that.
Yep. You're qualifying if that sounds good to you. That's absolutely fine. Let's jump into that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll be fine. So the exciting thing that you said is that even with the new screenshots, you can see that the kind of track fidelity is much improved. So what kind of visual updates have there been to the game with update 5?
Yeah, it's both in terms of the racing and the menus. As you'd have seen when we've in the menus that we've been scrolling through there, it looks a little bit different. The options menu looks a bit different. It's a little bit easier to navigate, which is great. With the main menu shot and the dual menu, it's now just not just a blank screen in the background. It's a bit of a garage shot, which is really nice. And then in the game, in terms of races, you might see it a little bit. You'll see even more when we jump into another race later on. But just the general design of not just the cars but the tracks as well is really sort of takes another step forward.
Excuse me.
Oh, gone very wide there.
I have gone very. I was too busy listening to you talk.
Okay, I might have to shut up.
I normally work on dirt, so I like going into the gravel. That's how I go. That's
force of habit.
Force of habit. It's how I roll.
Yeah, but things like the way the colours really shoot out of the screen. That's one thing that I really noticed the first time I booted up.
I've done it again. Excuse me. No. It's very very vibrant. And actually, what I'm doing is I'm going off circuit so people can just see how detailed the environment is.
That's very kind of you.
It's all going to plan.
Always thinking community, aren't you?
But even in terms of the new screenshots, they look absolutely phenomenal. I've seen a couple of teams. I think McLaren have posted the screenshots of their cars in game, and it looks absolutely stunning.
It really really does. Yeah. So. And when you're in the game, you can see a little bit of it here. I might change the camera angle for the next shot, but in terms of reflections, in terms of shadows, it's all taken a bit of a step up. It looks really, really nice. It's one of the things we were already proud of with the game is how it looked for a mobile game.
Yeah.
I think it already looked stunning, and we've taken another step forward. So it's really, really good.
I mean, it really is such a close representation of the F1, circuits and the vehicles, and it's kind of incredible just to have this in your pocket.
Yeah, and free to play. You can jump in whenever you want. Oh, God, wide again.
Look, even the grass on my tyres, which is what I'm intending. I don't know how. It's telling me corner cut, but I don't think I gained any time.
I think it's just letting you know.
Yeah,
just so you know.
That wasn't a corner.
Try
Christina.
not to do it again next time. It's all taking a really good step forward.
Well, let's face it, that was dreadful. But at least
I threw you in at the deep end. No one can blame you.
We proved that literally anyone could still put a lap on. So I'm going to hand that back over to you because I don't think I can be trusted. But I think we were discussing earlier one of the most exciting features of this particular update, and it's the multi-setup situation that we've got going on. So with different circuits, you need potentially different strengths. With Monaco, you desperately need all the help you can get cornering properly and fast acceleration, whereas something like Baku, where you've got a massively long straight, you might want to focus more towards top speed, for example. So
exactly, yeah.
I believe there's a brand new way of having default setups that you can kind of pick from.
Yeah, this is probably my favourite addition to Update 5 because it's entirely driven by community feedback. So ever since we've launched, there's been good feedback about the R&D system and being able to change your car setup based on how you want it to feel when you're driving it. But one of the things that the community asked for was that they could create that R&D setup and then they would go into a race.
Right.
So sometimes, especially in dual mode, you wouldn't know what kind of race you're going into, what kind of mode it is, what track you're on.
Yeah.
And it would be great to have the option to adjust your setup once you know what race you're jumping into. And that's what multi-setup aims to provide. So instead of just having now one R&D setup that you can create, you can now create up to 3. So as you progress through the game and you unlock more things, you unlock a second and a third R&D setup slot. which is what we're calling multi-setup.
Yeah.
So at the moment, we've got one car setup here, which has worked pretty well. We'll say that, well, I mean, maybe not. We'll say maybe that was to blame for that Suzuki.
It's too powerful.
So we've got one at the moment, but we can create a second and we can base it around different priorities. So if we want to jump in this epic part, so that's really good for the weight of the car, that brings the weight down, so we want to focus on that. So we can create a setup that revolves around that part. So like you said, we'll show it in action in a moment, but if you find yourself going onto a track like Monaco or any kind of tight and twisty track, Hungary's quite a tight and twisty track, where you're like, okay, maybe I'll create a setup that leans more towards handling.
Yeah.
So I know that I can choose that setup when I jump into the race, and it gives me a bit of an extra advantage when we jump into the race.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing you can do. So let me just bolt on a couple more parts. So as we can see here, this one is really good for weight and handling.
Yes.
For example, that one's going to work out really well for us if we come up on a tight and twisty track. Whereas that one is a bit more balanced.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you can play around with that to your heart's content. As we mentioned when we announced this on social channels yesterday, you can use any R&D part more than once. So just because it's in one R&D setup doesn't mean you can't use it in another setup. You can use all your parts to your heart's content and create a setup that works for you. So that's really good. And in a moment, we'll show that in action when we jump into a third and final race. But like I said, there's so much to get into.
So obviously you've had a little bit of a tinker with this. What's your strategy? Do you go for, straight line speed and, power? Or do you and then for the second setup, do you go for, like you say, tight and twisty tracks where handling
normally
car weight is key? And then do you go for an altogether more balanced setup when you have a track that can kind of combine the two, or do you set it up slightly differently?
So on my personal device, basically setup one is very balanced. It's got a bit of everything. It feels very similar to how your optimum car setup would normally feel.
Yep.
Setup 2 is normally focused a little less on top speed and more on handling and braking.
Yep.
Whereas setup 3 is all about high speed. So if you go into a track like Canada, with a super long straight, Baku, where we've just been to, even though you need maybe you need balance for Baku because there's very tight and twisty sections. So I have 3 setups on my personal device that I've been testing with, where you can have them ready to go, and then, as we'll show in a second, you can decide before you begin the race which one you want to use, and you can feel it. You can really, really feel it. So
it's really exciting.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I have another question. Just because you've mentioned Baku, we've mentioned Baku a couple of times. Yeah. I hear there's something cool happening this weekend.
Yes. So let's go into the events tab and show off something we're really, really pleased to be able to talk about. So Season Championship mode is basically the next evolution of GP events.
Okay.
So up until this point, GP events have been limited time events that take place at the same time as real world F1 race weekends.
Yep.
Where you set qualifying times and then set race times to make an overall score. That gets ranked on an overall leaderboard.
Yep. And
then within that short amount of time, you get ranked on the leaderboard and then you win your rewards at the end.
Right.
But they've been on their own, like they've been individual events. Now in Season Championship mode, we're combining them to basically create a season-long mode.
Nice.
Where you can race against the world, improve your times, push your score up every single race weekend, and then in the middle of the season, and then at the end of the season, you'll have big rewards that you can win. And after every GP event, like we do at the moment, which is really, really good.
Brilliant.
So here's an example of how it will look in Update 5. So we've already done the Australia, Bahrain and China Grand Prix. We've also done the Baku GP, but we're rerunning that, and I'll get onto that now. So so when we did the Baku GP event at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix event over this weekend, it was slightly different because we had to make a few changes to get prepared for Update 5.
Sure.
So one of the differences was it was only 1 lap race event instead of 3.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to and we changed the rewards at the end as well. We put in some F1 credits as a reward, but we took out the driver livery.
Sure.
To try and make things a bit more balanced. But we know that players really wanted to have those 3 lap events and to have the visual rewards on offer as well. So on this occasion, this weekend, as long as Update 5 is live by the time this weekend comes around, we'll be able to rerun the Azerbaijan Grand Prix event.
Brilliant.
Which is really, really good. It will run the same as a normal Grand Prix event.
Yep.
3 tiers to the qualifying series, three tiers to the race series. Set your best times, win your rewards, pick them up on the Monday. So if I jump into the rewards page for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, as you can see here. So we'll publish these a little bit later on as well on the social channels. But as you can see here, we're bringing the brand new livery into the game. So if you finish in the silver tier or the gold tier at the end of the event, you'll win that car livery, and you can add it to your custom car, similar to how we've been able to do for Australia and for Bahrain and for China, which is really, really good. And you've got your resource points, your credits, R&D cards as well, and the sticker. But what you can also see there is a driver helmet.
Yes.
Which we haven't done yet, and we're bringing into GP events for Update 5. So for as well as a sticker and a livery, you can win an exclusive driver helmet at each Grand Prix event, which is if you hit, in this case, the silver tier or the gold tier.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Just more options for customization, and if you're a super patriot, then you have all the options ahead of you if you're able to bag that gold or silver tier finish. So that's really, really exciting.
It's really good. I'm so glad we've been able to bring this, and we've had the chance to rerun the event because whilst we were able to get an event out and players enjoyed it, we wanted to make sure it was as good as possible. It's worth noting as well, so as I said, season championship mode, all of your scores from every event get totaled together at the mid-season and end-season point.
Wow.
So with the Baku GP event, your score from this weekend, not last weekend, will be the one that's counted, because it's slightly different because we're running 3-lap events, not 1-lap events.
Yep.
So if you want to make sure you hit your score and you're still battling with the best players in the world, make sure you're racing this weekend, complete the GP event, set your best times, and get your score on into that gold tier.
Brilliant.
And pick up those rewards.
That's very exciting. So just before you jump into, I think, a final race, I think, like you were saying earlier, some tracks look absolutely phenomenal.
They do,
And Abu Dhabi is a prime example.
Yeah.
Which I believe is the next race you'll be taking on.
We'll jump into that, yeah.
So you need to change your settings back from my awful settings. And I think it's worth mentioning something about the racing line based on community feedback. Yeah,
so this is another thing we've been able to bring in based on community feedback. So some of our most engaged players said that they would love to see the option to, if I can find it, here we go, to not have a racing line. So we have many racing line options that help players pick out their brake points or acceleration points, but we didn't have an option to have no line at all. But now we do. So you can pick no racing line from the options menu, which is really, really good. I'm just going to bump the assist back, have a bit of stability control. Steering, tilt, acceleration, manual brake. Looks good. Yeah.
Cool.
And yeah, it's great to be able to bring that. It's just another example of how we're able to take on community feedback from all channels, from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, from the forums, which are super useful, from the App Store and the Play Store as well. We get so much feedback that we do everything we can to get through. And Update 5, as well as being able to bring, the new season content, which is a massive deal, we're bringing in other stuff as well that's so driven by what the community asks us for. And whenever we can do it, we can't do it every single time. There's only so much we can do, and there are limitations. But when we can bring it into the game, we do, and it's really great to be able to do that.
No, brilliant. And our communities on all our games are absolutely amazing, and it's so nice to have vocal and passionate members of our community sort of helping us steer the direction of various different features and functionality. So it's really great to see it make some of these changes into Update 5. And
that's absolutely. So let's jump into the final race. So what we'll do here, so as you can see, as we come into the loading menu, if you look on the right hand side, don't jinx it, here you go. So you can choose your setup. So I'll choose the second setup that I decided to design, and we'll use that for Abu Dhabi. That's how it works across all modes and all races.
Brilliant.
So as you're going through the loading screen, that will come up, and you'll be able to choose which R&D setup you'd like to use. So you can see the track, you know which kind of race event you're jumping into. You can go, okay, here's what I want, and you can take it from your R&D setup.
That's really cool. That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. You didn't put the gold livery on, but orange is fine.
it's a little bit basic, but we'll take it. Okay, so Abu Dhabi. Let's try and keep this one clean and make up a couple of places. Leclerc is the leader. I think we'll struggle to catch him, but we've got Pierre Gasly in front of us. Let's try and catch him.
Right, if you have a little focus on that.
Okay.
Obviously, you can just, I'll talk through it. You can see, in terms of the visual fidelity, there is such a huge improvement. Like, you can just, the atmospherics as well, going past those sort of stadium lights, and you're right on the tail of Gasly at the minute. You've got, let's have a look at the time, so there's just less than a second between you both. So I reckon that you might be able to nip him when you get DRS down this straight
DRS,
here, which
speeding through.
You're able to absolutely sail through, and that's in part to the setup that you've picked there too. So really good job. Heading down to the corner, you can see that we've got another driver approaching us. it's told you off. Contact.
Yeah, I don't blame it. I was a little bit late on the brakes there. That's what happens when you don't choose the racing line.
Correct.
I'm still
you have
learning.
switched off, haven't you? But I think just in the distance, you were able to see the hotel. That part of the circuit looks absolutely phenomenal in the update, and I think it's worth calling out because in terms of, again, just kind of the effect and how much it embeds you into that kind of environment, it looks absolutely phenomenal.
It's like a spaceship. It's brilliant.
Yeah, you can see
there you go.
It's got all the characteristics that the building has in real life.
Got distracted there and went wide. I was too busy looking at the hotel.
It's so easy to do. But instead of the abridged version that you saw elsewhere in previous iterations of the game, this is the real deal, and it looks absolutely great. Go on. Is this Grosjean here?
Yeah,
managed to get Grosjean.
I'll take that. A couple of places. Probably not going to catch Magnussen over the line. No. P8. That's okay.
And in terms of time, I think you started at around 7 seconds behind, and ended up around 4. So
thanks for the ego boost. I needed that.
Pretty decent.
And that that was really cool. It's great to show off Abu Dhabi, and so many other tracks have had a big visual update. I love that screenshot.
Yeah, it's stunning.
It's really, really good. So,
absolutely stunning.
Yeah, there's plenty of other things that we're going to be talking about later in the week as well, but those are like the key highlights of Update 5. As you can tell from the new art, even in this frame, the new content, the new features, it's our biggest update ever.
Yeah.
We really are. It's not just a hashtag. We are changing the game. It's a massive deal. We can't wait to see what players think of it. We're really enjoying it at the moment in our tests, so we can't wait to see what players think of it. It's going to be great.
No, brilliant, and thank you for walking everyone through it. I think that's been really comprehensive and hopefully gives you more of an idea of what to expect when Update 5 goes live, hopefully this week.
Yeah, that is the plan. We're aiming to get it out as soon as possible. That could be this week. It may spill over into next week, but our plan is by the end of this week you'll have something. Keep an eye on our social channels, F1 Mobile Racing on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You'll be kept as up to date as you possibly could on there. So yeah, that's the best place to find us.
Fabulous. Well, we hope you've enjoyed this live stream. I know we have. Less my driving, but more his. But thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again on the next stream. So take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.